So, namaste one and all. Namaste one and all. To be able to sit in front of this august audience, my seniors, all the teachers, and I'm basically from North Karnataka, Bijapur. I just stay 2 kilometers away from BLD Medical College, and I studied in BLD, and it's my mother institution, and it brings me a great a warm feeling inside my heart where I am talking to you as a small part of my journey into yoga. So it's very interesting when so I did post MBBS. I got my MD pathology and MD in forensic medicine, which I was not very much interested. I was searching for something different. And when I see India as a country, India is known for yoga, Ayurveda, and spirituality. So that's what attracts people to India, and the vast diversity of Indian heritage. So that I used to get attracted very much. And one sentence of Swami Vivekananda, like combine the best of the East and the best of the West, strikes my mind. And so we are already into best of the West, modern medicine, conventional medicine. And I wanted to do something add on, mix masala, or add some hatke kuch karna hai. So that kind of mind I was inclined towards integrative medicine. And that's how I got into MD in yoga and rehabilitation from a prestigious Vyasa University, which is, I was the first MBBS doctor to do that. For an MBBS doctor, it was a little easy and comfortable. I'm very happy to see all of you, all my seniors. So it is very unusual path, which took me away. I am totally off from the conventional medicine, but still the roots are there. After my MD in yoga and rehabilitation, I also did my MSc in applied psychology to combine the different aspects. So this was my journey past 14 plus years, and I was inclined to go out of India. So I took this, and most of us will get bored if we are not giving any statistics. So in our healthcare, it constitutes two healthcare systems, which most of us are not aware. Even if we study, we are studying from the European Revolution kind of a school, colleges, and all, where we are part of it. Still, we have to revolutionize the education and health in India. So there are two healthcare models. First one is biomedical healthcare model, which says that all of us, whatever we study, more than 90+%, all the schools, colleges, it's the biomedical healthcare model, where for each disease we consider the body part. For eye, there is eye doctor. For bone, there is a bone doctor. For nerve, there is a nerve doctor. For stomach, there is a gastroenterologist. So we segregate the body into multiple specialties and super specialties, and then we treat or study. Second healthcare model is bio, psycho, socio, spiritual healthcare model, which is most neglected part. So bio, psycho, socio, spiritual healthcare model. These two healthcare models. In my journey, I combine these two in addition to the yoga and the Western psychology to give it as closest possible evidence-based therapies as possible. I call this as a medical yoga because I'm a medical doctor and then teaching yoga. So for each disease, I categorize, devise the mind-body therapies. So going to the statistics, WHO statistics for NCDs, non-communicable diseases, it states that 41 million people die every year because of the diseases which can be prevented. So it constitutes about 70 to 71% of all the global deaths. So that is so. So Jyoti, you want to?
Yes, sir. Yeah. We'll start. We'll start now, sir.
Yeah.
Namaskara to one and all. On behalf of Center for Yoga and Exercise Science Department of Physiology, I, Dr. Jyoti Kodnapur, Coordinator, welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramesh Mudol Sir, Pro Chancellor Dr. Arun Inamdar Sir, Dean Faculty of Medicine and Principal Dr. Arvind Patil Sir, Medical Superintendent Dr. Rajesh Honetki Sir, Registrar Dr. J.G. Ambekar Sir, Vice Principal Academics Dr. S.V. Patil Sir, I welcome you all. I would like to extend a special welcome to our invited guest speaker, Dr. Shashikant Kumbar, sir. I welcome you, sir, for today's guest lecture. We are blessed to have Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy. We are blessed to have Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, Director, Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga, to chair today's session. Thank you, sir. I welcome you, sir, for today's session.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks. I welcome all faculty members. I welcome faculty members of BLD, DU family and other university for today's session. I welcome you all once again for today's guest lecture. Now we'll have brief introduction about our today's chairperson and speaker. Dr. Ishwar V. Basavareddy, sir, is the director of Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, New Delhi for the last 17 years. Sir is the head of Institute, Yoga Certification Board, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India since 2018. Sir is project director, WHO, CC Traditional Medicine Yoga since 2013. Sir had the additional charge of advisor Yoga and Naturopathy, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India during 2019 to 2020. Sir also had the additional charge of director CCRYN from 2010 to 2012 and 2019 to 2020. Sir is the president of National Yogasana Sports Federation, recognized body of Government of India, and senior vice president of International Yogasana Sports Federation member, Governing Council of Indian Yoga Association, and many other government and non-government organizations. To name few, member of ICCR, ICMR, UGC, NCERT, NCTC, IGNO, SAI, member of Railways, member of MHRD, TKDL, Fit India, etc. Dr. Basavareddy sir, having done MSc in Physics, MA in Philosophy, PhD in Yoga Philosophy, and also has got 2 PG diplomas to his credit, one in Yoga Education and another in Computer Applications. Sir has more than 33 years of experience in Yoga Education, training, therapy, and research. Sir is one of the eminent Yoga Masters of India and instrumental in bringing Common Yoga Protocol for International Day of Yoga. Sir has imparted yoga education, training, and therapy to more than 1 lakh people of all sections of the society and have participated in hundreds of national and international conferences, seminars, and presented research papers and delivered lectures, lecture-cum demonstrations, conducted yoga workshops in India and abroad. Sir has completed 10 major research and development projects, published more than 12 research papers, 28 booklets, 10 monographs, evaluated hundreds of research projects as member and chairman of different research project evaluation committees. Took initiatives to establish 5 advanced centers for yoga education, therapy, and research in premier medical institutions of the country and provided disease-specific yoga research protocols for the projects. Sir traveled abroad such as South Africa, Russia, Hungary, China, Thailand, Hong Kong, North Korea, Austria, Germany, Turkey, Italy, France, etc. Many times I presented Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga and Government of India. Sir is instrumental in establishing 159 yoga wellness centers, 4 yoga therapy centers in tertiary hospitals, 20 yoga wellness centers in CGHS dispensaries, and 4 yoga centers in SAI stadia. Sir was the master of ceremony giving yoga instructions to more than 40,000 people, including Honorable Prime Minister of India at Rajput, New Delhi, which went on to create 2 Guinness World Records. He was also the master of ceremony of International Day of Yoga celebrations at Lucknow, Dehradun, Ranchi, etc. Several initiatives have been taken up under the stewardships of Basavareddy sir for the promotion and development of yoga across the country and abroad. We are honored to have you with us, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Thank you so much, sir. Here I present Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, sir. Now we'll have brief introduction about Dr. Shashikant Kumbar, sir. Sir is a proud alumni of our BLD DU family. Sir has completed MBBS from our own college in April 2005, MD in Yoga and Rehabilitation from Vivekananda Kendra S. Vyasa University, Medical Hypnotherapy, Basic and Advanced Training and Certification. Sir is experienced in family physician and general medical consultation and treatment, yoga and application of complementary and alternative medical systems in evidence-based way in most of mind-body related diseases and medical hypnotherapy. To name few achievements, Sir is the first MBBS doctor to do MD yoga and rehabilitation in the whole world. Started an integrated holistic health center which integrated yoga in stress management and other diseases along with other systems of medicines. Started epilepsy and yoga research in Spandana Holistic Health Center in collaboration with Department of Neuroscience, Narayana Hridayalaya. Started school-based yoga and health integrated service for different schools. Trained students of yoga and BNYS students in teaching anatomy and physiology in S. Vyasa University, Bangalore. Worked in the cancer and yogic psychotherapy and medical doctor in world biggest yoga and health center, S. Vyasa University, Bangalore. Medical officer for 1 month for world's biggest Coorg hockey tournament conducted in April 17th to May 10th, 2010. Establishing world's largest yoga and integrated medical center in Coorg spread over more than 380 acres of lush green coffee land. Conducted workshops in scientific yoga and mind-body techniques in Malaysia for about 1 month from June 6, 2011 to July 6, 2011 through Malaysia Yoga Society and UCAC. Innovative invention of combination of modern medical knowledge and yogic principles together. Conducted yoga and stress management workshops in Malaysia, China, and India. Establishing a new yoga therapy center in association with Mount Yoga Center in China. Medical Director, I Am Well Company. Here I present Dr. Shashikant Kumbar, sir. Thank you, sirs. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, madam. Thank you, one and all. That was elaborated, detailed introduction.
Now I request Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, sir, to kindly chair today's session. Thank you, sir.
Namaste, madam. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir of the very esteemed university, and respected registrar sir, dean sir, and all the faculty members, and my esteemed friend Shashikant. I'm very proud of you and happy to see you on this platform, because earlier college, now the university, it is very dearer to my heart, and you are the alumni, and also very few are fortunate to get such a platform to address from their own college. So my best wishes first of all. And I'm reaching the airport, I told you, and because suddenly a meeting has come in Hyderabad. So definitely I've listened to you, and I will hear. First of all, just to introduce, today everywhere yoga has got global acceptance for various reasons. One as generally it is a fitness program, whatever we say, the spirituality or something. But when you go to the world community, it is a yoga first as a fitness. Then it comes to the wellness. In India, it is a wellness program, especially in US, Europe, and some of the Asian countries. So it has a $1 billion business about yoga and wellness sector. And third one, it comes to the preventive medicine. Yoga is a preventive medicine. It has been proven from the ancient time. Whoever practice yoga regularly, yoga means some postures, some breathing practices, then relaxation and meditation. So this is a package. Whoever practice every day, they can prevent many of the disorders, non-communicable, what popularly known as, or lifestyle-related disorders. And most importantly, the another dimension in the recent past, in the medical community, it is the integration of yoga in the healthcare delivery system. So yoga goes with every medical system. So where as an adjunctive therapy or complementary therapy, so where it has the dimension to cope many disease conditions, particularly non-communicable diseases. So therefore, yoga in Ayush, we are seeing many of the Ayush system don't have the acceptance by the other system because they're all everybody wants to their system. But yoga is one system; it goes with every system because of its privilege to adjust with all these things. So that's a wonderful opportunity for the healthcare delivery system where we need the patient-centric treatment methods. Yoga is dominating. Last but not least is the health promotion. Though there is no limit for the promotion of health, so it may ultimately end in the spiritual quest. So to know what I am, yoga has that dimension. But now here in the preventive medicine and the management or as an adjunctive therapy, there are more than 12,000 research publications in peer-review index journal, and many of them are 50% on meditation, which has started in the 80s by Mahesh Yogi, and we have hundreds of research papers on efficacy of yoga in the management of various disorders. So with these overview and today's topic, I do hope that Dr. Shashikant will throw a new light on the recent developments and the topic he has chosen for that. So once he complete that, definitely we'll discussion and we'll conclude. So that the end of the talk, we can make some recommendations. We can take up some small research projects or case reports to substantiate today's lecture, how the universities can go, because every day we conduct such type of speech, etc. But something outcome, what is the outcome? There is a enhancement of knowledge, dissemination of knowledge. But at the same time, if you convert into outcome-based lectures, so end of the day, we can take up some case studies or some small research projects, pilot projects, which leads to a major breakthrough research. So that attitude, that culture, academic culture has to be adopted in all the medical colleges in yoga institutions. So we have started it in our institutes in a small manner. Every lecture we conduct, we publish the synopsis, we take up the point every year, we assess. Then we started taking the small pilot studies or case reports. I do hope that with these, I request the esteemed speaker, Dr. Shashikant Kumar, to start this. Since I once again thank all the, especially Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir and others. Just it is 2 days and 12th we lost our Biradar Sir. It's just 1 year or more, and always is very dear to our heart. So I use this platform to once again pay my respect to very esteemed departed soul, Professor Biradar. So with these few words, and I request Dr. Shashikant to address the lecture. Thank you. Jai.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jyotish. Thank you, all the seniors, all my friends. I request you to adopt Namaskar Mudra. We'll come to the topic directly. I want you to hold your both hands together in front of your chest and adopt Namaskar Mudra. As the topic says, scientific yet spiritual. So when you are holding Namaskar Mudra, the very beauty of Namaskar Mudra says that the Atman or the soul within me understands or recognizes the soul in front of you, in front of me, and I salute to that. So that is a namaste. That's very unique about India. If I say this as a spiritual aspect, if I say when you combine both of your hands together, you're actually doing hemispherical synchronization. Both of your right brain and left brain are active simultaneously. There are very few conditions or situations where hemispherical synchronization and information sharing between hemispheres is happening. So one is this, one is Namaskara Mudra. So this is a kind of a hypothesis or a preview with which we call this as a scientific yet spiritual. You know, when I am saying by hemispherical synchronization, it's a science. When I'm saying Namaskara Mudra, it is a spiritual. So there is something, keep holding like this for a few seconds. There is something in Mudra which was fascinated me towards exploring the deeper aspects of Mudra. So first of all, you can keep holding the Mudra for some time, maybe 1 minute. There is some difference going to happen in your brain. I'll be a little off. So there are around 729 plus varieties of mudras. Mudras, it means a gesture or a seal or an impression. So another meaning of mudra, keep holding. I request you, keep holding. There is something is going to happen. So I request all the students to pay attention to what's happening in their mind space. So what I claim to be is the number of thoughts are going to reduce. This is what I claim. If somebody wants to prove or disprove, should do some research with Jyoti. So that was all inclination or idea. And with assistance from Dr. Basavaraj sir and Ayush team, I request some of the research to happen. So some will make you feel very interested, intrigued by this kind of aspect. So the one which gives you happiness, Mudita, Muda means happy. Dra means to give. The one which gives you happiness can be called as Mudra. So after the face, the hands are the second part of the body which is used for communication anywhere, everywhere. And hand is most commonly used for all the forms of therapy. The department changes, but hands are same. And all the physiology we study, that motor homunculus and sensory homunculus, you will find a very big thumb and big hand person. You know, you are familiar with the motor homunculus. So big hand, big thumb person who's the motor cortex, the thumb has the biggest space in the motor cortex, sensory cortex. So why? There is something in the hand, there is something in the in this aspect of mudra. Why these people are using certain gestures to communicate in certain particular way? There is something essence which was kind of getting lost. So I want you to release your hand and I want you to move your index finger. There should be some activity. Otherwise, our attention span is 15 minutes. I used to sit at the back of the same room. So I understand. So move your index finger. Only move your index finger. I'll keep talking. Only move your index finger. Now you move your thumb. Are you able to see some difference? Okay. Now stop and move your second toe without moving other toes. See what's happening. Are you able to do it? There is a gentle smile on your face that we are not able to do it because the fine motor skills are highest in the hand compared to the feet. So number of receptors are maximum in the hand compared to any part of the body. This was what fascinated me towards choosing mudra. Even though it is a absolutely not explored dimension of space in the field of yoga. Nobody talks about it, but there is something which fascinates, you know. So is there any link between, is there any changes which are going to happen when you use your body's, especially the part of your body which is having maximum number of receptors? Are you going to stimulate certain part of the neuronal chemicals to act upon particular organ? I do not know. I'm not sure. So some of the research has to happen. There's only one research in this is people using Surya Mudra, folding the ring finger and keeping the thumb on it. They have connected the body part to the biomedical function analyzer machine. So they found that basal metabolic rate increased when they did Surya Mudra. So there are one or two research like that. So hardly there is any research in this field. So sitting in front of you, talking to this august audience, I do not want you to feel bored. So I'll quickly state few research articles which will make you feel fascinated. So first, long-term practitioners of yoga, their GABA levels are high. They find out the research. I do not quote the research, you find out. And the people who are long-term meditators, their thalamic relay station is bigger. There is something very fascinating. The thalamic relay station is larger, bigger. The people who are meditating for long. The people who are doing yoga, there is a recent research article, Surya Namaskara. If somebody does Surya Namaskara slowly, their diastolic blood pressure reduces. We call it as slow Surya Namaskara, diastolic blood pressure reduces. Fast Surya Namaskara, systolic blood pressure increases and lipid oxidation is increased. So something very fascinating. Why I chose yoga? Yoga, unlike any other exercise, for that matter, yoga is considered for the Western audience is just exercise. But yoga modulates the basal metabolic rate. If I'm doing gym activities, my bulk of the muscles will increase, but simultaneously it will also increase my satiety center to add more food. You agree with this? So I eat well and I do exercise and I do not relax the muscles so much. So there is a more of a isotonic exercise. But yoga supports both isotonic, isometric and other group of exercise, gravity, anti-gravity, agonist, antagonist. All these forms of exercises yoga incorporates. For example, after swimming, Surya Namaskara is the only exercise which uses more than 93% of skeletal muscles. Something fascinating. And Nadi Shodhana Pranayama is the only breathing technique where sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous systems are stimulated simultaneously. Surya Namaskara is the only group of exercise where sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous systems are stimulated directly, simultaneously. Very interesting part. So I call, if I connect, there is a difference where when you're doing a lot of breathing technique, if a yoga teacher, simple yoga teacher might tell, idu Nadi Shodhana Pranayama madi, nange left nostril madi, right nostril madi, so on. But if you are exercising the chemical composition of your acid-base system, acid-base balance, you're doing breathing techniques, sometimes you're exhaling longer, you're throwing more carbon dioxide out, it is going to stimulate your respiratory center. So some years before, we had a famous Guruji coming. So I am also looking in the form of Guruji. Another 10-20 years, I'll grow more beard and all those. So those dimensions will do it. Not now, but so that Guruji, we did a particular kind of meditation where there are some visuals we could feel. So at this point in time, I could connect that these visuals are nothing but excess of carbon dioxide is thrown out and there is a change in the acid-base balance of the body and it will stimulate your respiratory center and respiratory center signals your brain to add up the oxygen to compensate the change. So this will, it will create a unique exercise for the acid-base balance. So there is no exercise like that. So that's how yoga fascinates. So for example, we do a lot of exercise for our skeletal muscles. Is there any exercise for smooth muscles? Yoga has answer yes. There are kriyas, there are internal cleansing techniques where you have voluntary control over involuntary nervous system. This is something absolutely fascinating. Voluntary control over involuntary nervous system. On the ejection reflex, vomiting gag reflex will do, anti-peristalsis reflex we do in Vamanadauti. It is a process. When you do it on and off, you'll have a control over the emesis vomiting system where you are voluntarily able to vomit it out. So that's the process of yoga. So ultimately, in short, the yoga is for chitta shuddhi, mind control. And with this mind control, align yourself in a particular time and space where you will invite more higher energies. Your mind is very cleansed. One homework for all the students: find out number of thoughts per day. There are various claims: 16,000, 20,000, 50,000 thoughts per day. Conscious, subconscious, sleeping, dreaming, all inclusive. How they have done research and what are the research articles you find out. So ultimately, for the modern world, yoga is useful in few ways. I'll start with statistics. Check out the WHO statistics of NCD, non-communicable diseases. So 41 million people die every year, which constitutes up to 71% of total global deaths. So amongst these, there are only 4 major diseases which are responsible. First is the cardiac, hypertension, MI and all. Second one is the cancer. Third one is COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Fourth one is diabetes. Only these 4 group of diseases are constituting to a staggering statistical data of 71% of global deaths. Are we doing anything for this? Absolutely not. Our work as a doctors, our work starts when the person is having a disease. And our preventive medicine, integrative medicine, another homework for all the students are find out what is integrative medicine. That is what is needed for you to be inclined with whatever your goals, dreams, aspirations. But keep in mind that there is something like called as integrative medicine, which you should promote or you should be doing it. That will give you a boost to your career. So there are 2 types of healthcare system, which I have already mentioned. One is a biomedical healthcare system. Second one is a biopsycho-socio-spiritual healthcare model. So I only combine these 2. Rather than me just prescribing medicine and then sending the patient out, what I do is I prescribe the diet, I prescribe the breathing technique, I prescribe the relaxation technique, I prescribe the medicines, and then I send the patient out. That's why I include. And number of super specialties are so much increased that the amount of time given to the patient is less, reducing. There I find a gray area or a bridging area. And another thing is, most of the yoga teachers, yoga masters, whomsoever we call, they are all from non-medical background. And they depict themselves as mystics. And we medical people, our left brain will be thinking, analyzing, what is this, why they are behaving so, and all those things. There are so many questions for us. So left brain oriented people, if somebody gives us simple evidences like GABA levels, I told thalamic relay station, the number of receptor increases. So these kind of things which will motivate us to take up that path. But there are hardly very few people in this world who are really inclined to do it. For example, most of the global gurus, so-called gurus, they use the secret formula of adopting one of the method from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. You can note down this word, Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, which depicts 112 meditation techniques. They take up one of the meditation technique, add some breathing part to it, fast breathing, slow breathing, meditative part to this, and then they make their own, trademark things, and they'll spread it out to the world. That's all. Nothing wrong in that, but nothing right also. So coming back to our topic is, when I said Namaskara, it synchronizes your right brain and left brain. So it's something fascinating. So at this aspect, we will stick on to a yoga mudra. So there are 3 categories of mudras: dance mudra, puja mudra, and yoga mudra. The one which we use for the dance, somebody, some dance forms, the deer is dancing, so they use the dance. So Shiva, like that. So dance mudras, I'll take it out of the context. And the puja mudras, worshipping mudras, we take it out of the context. We'll only use yoga mudras. So there are around 729 yoga mudras. I teach around 450 plus yoga mudras. And I use it for the therapeutic aspect, which 1 or 2 I'll tell you. I'll share it with you. Okay. So I want all of you to get up. Now 15 minutes are over. Our attention span is reduced. I want you to do one small experiment. I want you to get up. Keep your both hands in front of your chest like this. Standing. So extend your hands. Bring your hands in front of your chest. keeping your eyes closed, try to touch the index finger together. You can get up. Attention span, I'm a little aware of that. So we are going to do it for 5 times. 1, keeping your eyes closed. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Second, take your hands up. Keeping your eyes open. Keeping your eyes open. So notice the difference. Keeping the eyes open, do the same. 1, touch the index finger over your head. You are analyzing the space and dimension. That's the hint for you. 3, 4, and 5. Back. Keeping your eyes open, no problem. So do the same. 1, 2, touching the index finger, that's it. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Release. Is there any difference? You could see. You can sit down, please. Is there any difference you could see? When you use the index finger in front of your, when you use your hand over your head with the eyes open, when you did this, which one you felt you're easy to do it? The approximating the index finger easy to do. Which one you find? Yeah, one answer would be sufficient for me to continue. Over the head, possible, maybe right or wrong. You have. So the answer is brain. Another experiment, you do it at home. Otherwise, you're standing and you're leaning forward like Michael Jackson. You can lean forward much better. 1 second. Yeah, I'm audible now. Yeah, this space in front of your head, in front of your chest, this space has maximum capacity for the brain to understand with eyes open or closed, does not matter. So this space. So most of the gestures of the body, you say namaskara, salam, whatever you call, hi, you say, they are in front of the body. Not somebody is saying hi at the back. Nobody usually know. You take out the religion from the context of this speech. The front space of the body is more understandable by the brain. So most of the gesture, most of the front part of the body is used. So most time hands are used. So I correlated hands with motor and sensory homunculus, number of receptors. You find out what it is. So thumb has the biggest area in the motor cortex, as I repeat. So when you use the brain, when you use the hand in a particular way, my hypothesis is certain aspects of your brain, certain nerve plexus of your brain, certain nuclei of the brain are activated and they focuses on certain part or organs of the body. Maybe we need to yet to prove this. Actually, behind our body, brain gets focused. Yeah, fine. Just it's an experiment for you. Just find out when you're leaning forward, you're able to lean forward much better. When you're leaning backward, you try that your space is limited. You will not be able to lean backward so much. You'll be able to lean forward much better. Is it not? So this space is used most often for most of the hand gestures. Coming back to the religious aspect, Hinduism, so-called Hinduism and Buddhism, these two religions use world's maximum number of mudras. Holding a mudra in a particular fashion may trigger certain neural connections or certain metaphysical connections or energy changes. Energy, the moment we say energy, maybe bioelectrical energy, prabhavalaya in Kannada, Hindi, Sanskrit, prabhavalaya, the energy around you, the vibes, so-called vibes around you might change. So Mudra states that when you adopt certain gestures, the energy loss, subtle energy loss of that particular part you are conserving, and you are increasing the biomagnetic energy of a person or an aura. So all the process of spiritual processes, let it be any forms of fasting, any forms of sticking on to vegetarianism, non-vegetarianism, all those, every process is only to cleanse the body and increase the vibes aura, so that you are able to connect yourself with individual consciousness with the higher consciousness. In yogic terminology, connect your jivatma with paramatma. So that is the process of yoga. So coming back to the applicability of this, if I keep talking about this, it will go on and on. But I have more inclination towards the stress of medical students. One more research states that in UK-based research, average lifespan of doctors is around 57 years. UK. Is it true or false? You just find out. And amount of stress what doctor endures, usually other professions, is very difficult. They cannot endure so much. And modern diseases like somatization, somatic symptoms are increasing, as I already stated the statistics. So with all this background and all this statistics, I come to a point of view where I teach certain aspects of certain breathing techniques. I have one question for all the audience. When we are angry, what will be our breathing? Is it fast or slow? So our breathing will be fast, irregular, erratic. You agree with this? When you are very calm and relaxed, your breathing will be slow, rhythmic, regular. So if this makes sense, so I designed a kind of a breathing technique using based on the platform is based on the traditional yoga. Platform is traditional yoga. Traditional yoga constitutes the system, no system. No system means you do whatever you want, kind of. No religion, no system, all those. System means there is a Patanjali and Hatha Yoga. There are two systems usually people follow. If they follow this particular system, if they choose this particular system, they may reach their goal. So yoga is applicable to all the believers, non-believers, religious, non-religious people, all the people. So coming back to our concern is when the breathing is fast, when you are angry, your emotions, negative emotions, breathing changes. And normal emotions, breathing is normal. So reversing that, if I use a breathing technique where I use a rhythmic regular pattern of breathing in, holding, breathing out as an exercise format, can I influence on the mind? What do you say? That's a hypothesis, kind of hypothesis. So we can. Jyoti, you should note down this. Later on, some research can be planned. So I want you to follow this simple step. I do not want to go very deep into the mudras, which we'll do it for the sake of doing. I want you to do. Challenge in this is, if you do this technique properly, your number of thoughts are going to reduce. Okay. So this is a technique where I compile this based on Hatha Yoga and other forms of yoga, and it's a medical understanding. Keep your thumb in front like this, thumbs up, all of us. Other finger, you hold, encircle your thumb with other 4 fingers. Hold the thumb tight. Release lower 4 fingers. Cover your knuckle area. Thumb touching the middle finger if you can. If you cannot, no problem. Twist your hand, hold it in front of the chest. So this looks like a conch or a seashell. So thumbs up, 4 fingers, cover, release lower 4 fingers, bend your elbow, left elbow, cover your knuckle area, thumb touching the middle finger. Okay. Twist your hand, hold it in front of the chest. I'm sure that these techniques are very innovative. You will not find it because it was compiled and designed newly. Definitely, I took a lot of time for this. Holding the thumb, I want to use a psychotherapy dissociation technique where you dissociate your routine thoughts from something neutral. What is that neutral? Focus your awareness on the blood circulation of your thumb, which you are encircling inside. Okay. So this mudra is called as Shankha Mudra, conch seashell mudra, gesture. Holding with this mudra, I prescribe, for example, for all of us adults, 4 seconds breathing in. You can keep the back straight as much as you can. 4 seconds holding the breath, 4 seconds exhalation is 1 count. Keeping your eyes closed will help you to focus your attention towards the blood circulation of the thumb. Keep your eyes closed. Shift your all awareness towards the blood circulation of the thumb. Let us open our intellectual plus intuitive mind, feeling and thinking mind, both open. I'll cater for the left brain and I'll also cater for the right brain. Synchronize this. So for the left brain, I'm using a dissociative technique, thought dissociative technique, where you're focusing your awareness on the blood circulation of the thumb. Now shift your awareness towards the breathing. Approximately 4 seconds, 4 moments, 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. 4 moments you are breathing in, 4 moments, 4 seconds you are holding the breath, 4 seconds you are exhaling. I'll demonstrate once. See. It looks funny, but still do it. There's something about it. So breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds. That's 1 count. Let us do it at least 5 counts. Breathing in, hold, breathe out. Breathing in, hold, breathe out. Breathing in, hold, breathe out. Continue to do so. Breathing in, hold, breathe out. Breathing in, hold, breathe out. Breathing in, hold, breathe out. I request you to do normal breathing, but keeping eyes closed. Keeping your eyes closed, breathing normally. Can you feel there is little increased heat generated around the thumb? Change in the hemodynamics, change in the blood circulation also changes the temperature locally. So you're able to feel that local change in the temperature. Also, feel and think your mind space. Do you think that when you're focusing all of your attention about thinking, breathing in, holding, breathing out, is it true that other thoughts, other random thoughts which were coming in naturally are reduced or stopped? Majority of the times, it will be significantly reduced. There is something called as the relaxation response. Even though we are medical doctors, we never hear about this. The quotation, this research was done by Dr. Herbert Benson from Harvard Medical Science. This is the first ever research in the field of proving the alternative systems. He has done a research on Tibetan monks, changes in the body functioning, changes in the breathing, changes in the infrared camera activities when they do the fast breathing and all those. You check out this. The relaxation response. What you're experiencing right now is similar to the relaxation response, which will be exactly opposite to stress response. fight or flight response, what we study, exactly opposite of that is happening. Very slowly and gently release your hand. I want you to bring your hands closer to each other without touching. Can you feel the warmth of your own hand? Yes. So this is the first technique. Usually I prescribe this. How do I prescribe? I prescribe like I change the mudra. So if somebody is having back pain, I'll use the Meru Danda Mudra. I say that, okay, there is a stretch, extension of the thumb, stretch reflex. This information goes to the brain. You keep it extended. Some pain receptor changes, pain pathway changes. The touch and pain are similar, same track changes, and brain forgets about back for some time. Brain forgets about the neck stiffness for some time, trapezius stiffness for some time, erector spinae or multifidus stiffness for some time. Brain forgets, and it will profusely increase endorphins, enkephalins, and then might be pain reduces. So I change the mudra. Meru Danda Mudra I use for back pain people. For this is the fun part of mudra. What I'm teaching is randomly I'm stating the names, but I use this in the form of therapy. The one technique what I told you, breathing in, holding, breathing out. I call this as 4-4-4 breathing technique plus mudra. So when you write a prescription, RX, take a dose. First, breathing 4-4-4-4 breathing technique plus 1 mudra. 20 times morning, 20 times evening for first 1 month. Second month, I change 6 seconds breathing in, 4 seconds holding the breath, 6 seconds exhalation. 20 morning, 20 evening for second month. Third month onwards, change it further. 6 seconds breathing in, 6 seconds holding the breath, 6 seconds exhalation. So I claim that, we need to do a research on that. I claim that the peak flow rate of a person, the lung volume, there will be some significant change in the lung volume in the third month for any person. So if somebody is having asthmatic attack, if somebody is having repeated bronchitis, allergic bronchitis, why can't we use simple breathing technique? At least it will use it as a dissociative technique. Patient is, in medical practice, we'll have a common discussions amongst the friends, doctors. Yeah, the toxic patient so we'll talk like this. Dimag khayega patient. So give those all patients this breathing technique. Ask them to do it for 3 months. Their somatic symptoms will reduce significantly. There are organic causes, non-organic causes. For neck pain, back pain, knee pain, there are organic causes, non-organic causes. Okay. So I use this one mudra, one breathing technique as one most common tool for my patients. I want you to do the second one. Just now somebody was sitting like this. You like to sit like this when you're listening to a lecture, boring lecture like mine? So, so this is, I use this technique with a resonance. I claim that you are relaxing the neck muscles, supraspinatus, sternocleidomastoid and scalene muscles, you're relaxing, and you're putting your body weight, head weight on the hands, transmitting on the hands, and you're using the form of a resonance to induce a relaxation. I want you to note down this word, which I want to repeat one more time. The relaxation response. There is a book. I want our, it might be there in our library also. Find out. It might be written in 1980s or I'm not sure, 79, I think, 1979 maybe. The book name itself is The Relaxation Response by Dr. Herbert Benson. For all the medical doctors, when we say Harvard Medical Science, this is, oh, wow. So he is from Harvard Medical Science. I think he is still alive. So he was the greatest inspiration for me to take up. Other two doctors I want to tell you who are living. Dr. Tony Nadir. Dr. Tony Nadir, as Basavaraj sir was mentioning, Maharshi Mahesh Yogi was the first yoga master who started authentic research in the field of yoga and Ayurveda. So he is a successor. He is Dr. Tony Nadir from Manchester University, was a MD in brainwave coherence studies. So my fascination about his work is he correlated neurophysiology with Ramayana, with evidence base. That blows my mind totally off, absolutely off. So he correlated the front four lobes of the brain with four padas of Patanjali. Patanjali Yoga Sutras. This is the only Indian text in the world which tells about the normal mind. When we study the psychology, psychotherapy, psychiatry, we start with Freudian mind, Freudian psychology, which observations are partly from an abnormal mind. We do not have understanding about the normal mind. Chitta vritti, mental modification, number of thoughts per minute, per day, what you study, chitta vritti nirodha. So yoga itself, they give a very beautiful definition. If you reduce the number of thoughts to a minimum level, and then you have the mind under your control, then that is yoga. Beautiful. If our surgeon, Dr. Patil sir, Arvind Patil sir, or anybody, any one of our surgeons is operating very absolutely skillfully, so that is yoga. See the beauty of application of yoga. Yoga can be anything. I'm simply sitting and drinking my cup of tea mindfully. I'll say definitely you are doing yoga. I do not impose any yogic asana on anybody, believer, non-believer. But some of these techniques you can do. I want you to adopt this. I use this in cluster headaches, migraine headaches, which most of our students have during Viva, OC or near exam. You are using your index finger. So these are all not studied. You will not find this anywhere. So those are, that's the kind of claim. Anywhere in the sense, I compiled this, I modified, I use this together. So your index finger, you're closing, you do this, your chin on the folded palm. Your index finger is closing the tragus, the lid of your ear, and little finger is closing your eyes. Okay. I want you to do it. Okay. So what you notice is, I want all of you, especially students, to look at each other's eyes. We have very difficult, we can do the digital gadgetization, digitalization is increased number of effortlessly, but I will not be able to look at somebody else's eyes. I want you to look at the person who is sitting next to you. Look at their eyes. Okay. So look what? Look the conjunctiva for any congestion. Okay. So my claim is, after this technique, what you do, there will be an increased blood flow to the conjunctiva. That's my claim. You prove it because you are researchers sitting next to each other. This one is your student, you are the observer. Observe. Is there any change in the blood circulation of your eyes with this technique? So there will be significant change. Shall we do it? Just like this. So this sitting style is called as Shakuntala Asana. Shakuntala waiting for her husband, Dushyanta Maharaja at the bank of river. I extend the story saying that she is very tense, sympathetic overactivity, adrenal rush, adrenal, noradrenal, lot of sympathetic stress, flight or flight response, flight or flight reflex. There is three organs of your body reduces the blood flow. Notice this. This is again research. Dr. Robert Sapolsky, you must know about him. He was from Stanford University, whose 30 years of research on the baboon monkeys. Read about it. So he says three organs of our body: digestive system, endocrine system, reproductive system will not be having much blood supply when you are stressed. Okay. Notice these words. When you are stressed, digestive system, reproductive system, endocrine system will have reduced blood supply. If you are constantly stimulating the sympathetic overactivity constantly without coping skills, without working on the parasympathetic nervous system, will end up in sympathetic overactivity. again, stress response, multitasking. So these three systems will reduce. And symptoms related to these three systems, you notice, GERD motility is reduced, constipation. Because of the stress, the gastrin hormone stimulates the gastric mucosa to secrete more hydrochloric acid, ends up in gastritis. If at all we want to do research, there is already research, you can focus. So gastrin hormone, stomach acidity, stress. There is a colonic motility. If a gastroenterologist is there, colonic motility, use the technique of yoga or incorporating modern, we can. So once the corona comes, then only, is it not? So similarly, these three, digestive, endocrine, reproductive system will reduce. The symptoms are related to that. You notice increased heart rate, oversensitivity, perspiration, breathing. No? So this can be used. Again, I'm coming back to the same topic, can be used as an adjuvant. I say integrative medicine only. I'll not say alternative medicine. Alternative is trying to replace the conventional medicine. I never want to replace conventional medicine. Conventional medicine is great. But because of the advancement, we are losing the human touch. We are losing the certain aspect which can be non-organic causes, somatization, somatic symptoms can be treated with this incorporation of this. So simple example I'm giving you is this Shakuntalasana. Close your eyes with your little finger, close your ears with putting your index finger on the trigger. So taking deep breath in while breathing out, all the boys and girls, I want you to make a fun sound, loud as possible. So this is only time for you to make a sound. So taking deep breath in, breathing out, we are going to say a resonant sound of sound loudly. I'll show you one. Get ready. Take a deep breath in. While breathing out, breathing in. I cannot hear the sound from your side. Please do it in sync. Take a deep breath in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Slowly stop the practice. Very slowly and gently release the fingers and again look into each other's eyes. Is there any congestion of your eyes? Ask your person sitting next to you. There will be definite congestion, absolutely, because it is tested. So I use this in refractory headaches, cluster headaches, migraine. So for migraine patient, I advise 20 resonant sounds in Shakuntalasana 20-20-20. Do it for about 1 month, I'll say. At least all the somatic symptoms, whatever they're having, tensions, worries, they are using this as a dissociative technique, at least a dissociative technique, but then it's worthwhile. If with this technique, if they are able to reduce the number of thoughts, if they are able to balance their sympathetic nervous system or parasympathetic nervous system, if they are able to cope up the sympathetic overactivity, that's well and good. So it will give much more relaxed outlook for a doctor to treat. For example, GERD patients are coming to a doctor and the doctor is prescribing antacids for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. PPI, proton pump inhibitors. So doctor prescribes, and again patient comes back with the same complaint. Doctor will say, what to do? Another set of medicines will prescribe. After 6 weeks or so, I'll ask them to come back. Again, patient comes with the same complaint. I do not know what's happening with the patient, but I'll only focus on the stomach another gastritis irbodhum. For what? Esophagitis irbodhum. For what? Definitely somatic symptoms. So in this case, I want you to note down this particular two questionnaires I use very frequently, like a psychologist. I do not want any psychologist to come in and tell me what to do. By default, I'll use hospital anxiety depression scale. For example, if I give you the scale for all the students of first year MBBS, hospital anxiety depression scale, HADS, find out this. Hospital anxiety depression scale, 14 questions, validated questions. It will tell you, is there anybody moderately anxious or depressed, mild anxious or depressed, or severely anxious or depressed. I'll also use Dr. Goldberger's 28 questionnaire, General Health Questionnaire, GHQ. I use this simple too, because again, coming back to the statistics says NCDs are more, 71% of death. NCDs are more, definitely more. So there are hardly any research which will say depression and multiple sclerosis, depression and hypertension, anxiety and hypertension. We hardly say anything. Anxiety and sleep disorders. There are a lot of, sleep medicine is a big subject in itself. So the people who are doing regular yoga, their deep sleep cycles are better. They can sleep for short duration, but their sleep will be complete. How come yoga can invade to this many dimensions? So there is something about it. Similarly, Mudra has something about it. I'll give a pause of 1 minute for one question, and then we do a relaxation, and then we'll wind up. So I given 2 examples of breathing with a mudra and Shakuntalasana, 2 examples which I practically said. I request all the students to learn this, and when they feel uneasy or stressed up or things, use and find out, is it helpful for you really? Otherwise, sitting and talking about mudras, I can keep talking, but is it relevant to you? That was our concern. We want to teach you this 2. I already taught another technique. I'll teach you. These 3 techniques will be useful for you. So this is our module, for example. If a Jyoti can take it up, this is one module for our first year MBBS, second year MBBS, all the students. We'll evaluate their salivary cortisol, 30 students, salivary cortisol, blood lactate dehydrogenase, stress hormones, other hormones. You find out. Lewis P factor. So what is Lewis P factor? You find out. We'll do the physical analysis, blood analysis, and give these 3 protocols, maybe 2 protocols. The breathing technique and...
Definitely will do, sir.
Yeah. The breathing technique and the JPMR. JPMR I'll teach you, which I want. It's an evidence-based technique. I'll allow 1 minute time for one question so that it will be interactive rather than monologue. Let it be a dialogue. So one question from anybody, any senior student. I'll take it up and we'll go for relaxation technique.
Anybody wants to ask question?
Yeah.
Sir, my question, please.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what is the best time to we should do yoga, like as you suggest?
Yeah, that's usually commonly so simple normal yoga teacher understanding statements say that better is Brahmi Muhurta, 3:30 to 5:30 time. They say it's the best.
Early morning.
Early morning, Brahmi Muhurta is best. Yes, I presume maybe I do not know yet about this. Maybe morning hours, the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis, hypothalamo-pituitary thyroidal axis, hypothalamo-pituitary gonadal axis, it is working very fine. The production of hormones, for example, testosterone, I will see thyroid hormone. You see the pattern. So see the circadian rhythm of the HP axis. And maybe morning hours, HPA axis is working much better because the physical other activities are less.
Yes, sir.
The somatic symptoms are less. The number of thoughts are less. And the nature is congenial. The morning number of distractions are less.
Yes,
So
sir.
in that way, morning hours are better in correlation with HP axis. So you think over this.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Quickly, ask a question later. Quickly, we'll do JPMR. Later on, I'll share 90 minutes video with you, which will be useful for you. Anytime when you stress, you use this. Jacobson was a Canadian physician who was absolutely interested in yoga, who designed, he was not very much interested in taking the religious part, spiritual religious part of it, and he modified the Yoga Nidra. When any yoga teacher comes, they'll say, Adap Namaskar Mudra, start Om, Yogena Chitta, we'll start that. So I take up this. When I go to Malaysia, Jyoti was mentioning going to Malaysia. When I go to Malaysia, Dubai, I'll not use anything. The moment I use medical yoga, there are zero religious content in it. Asana name can be Hanuman Asana or Nataraja Asana, Anjanaya Asana, and all those. Absolutely, those are the creators from our Bharat. But I use all the technical sounds. When somebody wants to say Om, they'll say Om, no problem. Somebody wants to say Amin. You note the basic connotation, phonation of all these three words. Amin, Amen, Om. So there is a resonance. So I use the basic principle behind it is resonance. So resonance is inducing relaxation and it is causing you relaxation response. Again, Herbert Benson, find out. So this is my kind of hypothesis. I use any techniques, I'll use the resonance. If somebody is a non-believer of all these three, I'll use one. Okay, taking deep breath and saying one. Okay, before the JPMR, I want again, coming back to the attention span. There is one research conducted on Om chanting in school. They have found 30 group of children. They found that intelligence was better, finger tapping, frontal lobe functioning, finger tapping response was much better with the children, and their attention span increased with the chanting of Om. That's one research which says. Okay. Now, before we go for JPMR, Jyoti, how much time we have? 10 minutes.
Another 10 minutes, sir.
Okay, fine. Well, I'll conclude within that. So before we do the JPMR, we'll have a fun. I want all of you to stand up. I use this this mudra. This mudra is called as Garuda Mudra. So quickly, the thumb represents Agni, index finger represents Vayu. This was a secret which I didn't want to tell in this class, but later on. Agni, Vayu. The middle finger is the space. Ring finger is earth. Little finger is the water. When you do this Jnana Mudra, you use index finger and thumb. It is a Vayu and Agni. So when I use this, interlocking the thumb and holding the hands on the chest, this looks like a bird, is it not? The folded thumb looks like the beak of an eagle. So Garuda Mudra. I use Garuda Mudra to induce catharsis. The emotionally pent up emotions, bottled up emotions, I will bring them out by technique. Either we cry or keep or suppress our emotions. So I use this technique to bring their emotions out. So I modify. This is just mudra, keeping like this, holding like this is a mudra, but I modify in the form of fun. All the students wants to shout. So you're going to shout a synchronized way. What you're going to do is you're going to hold your hands like this in front of a chest. Say like this. I'll call this as a wow technique. VOW. WOW. Wow. So same wow, you are saying synchronized way, extended exhalation. Note down the point. extended exhalation is used by all the gurus, irrespective of whatever their background, for inducing relaxation response. Notice this sentence. Extended exhalation is a key for parasympathetic stimulation. We'll do it. So, wow, you are going to say, how you are going to say, take a deep breath in. Wow. You're going to say this as loud as you can. Let the room resonate with this wow sound. And again, going to bring back your both hands in front of the chest. Okay. All of us together. Maybe 3 counts. With the permission from all our seniors, let us all of us do this. Fun plus definitely catharsis. Take a deep breath in. Keep both hands on your chest. Take a deep breath in. Wow! I could not hear any of your sounds. Slowly bring your hands back onto the chest. So there is a permission from seniors. Do it another 2 times. Take a deep breath in. Wow! Slowly and gently bring your hands back onto the Garuda Mudra. One more time. There is some changes in your feeling, emotions. You feel light. Definitely, you see that. One more time. Last time, with all full strength and emotion. Take a deep breath in. Wow! Slowly and gently bring your hands back onto the chest in Garuda Mudra. Sit down. Sit down comfortably. Sit down, please. You feel little light in your emotion. The space, mind space. An ancient Hindu scriptures describes about 14 lokas. So my depiction is these lokas might be the mind space. When you calm down your mind space to a certain level, the vibration of those frequencies are different, which has a healing frequencies, which might go beyond. We have heard about NCDs and sympathetic overactivity. What happens if there is a parasympathetic dominance? My mind goes and taps certain unusual, like how the dogs hear extra decibels of sound. We might tap some extra sensory, metaphysical, parapsychological phenomena. We might. So that is what in yogic language, they call it as siddhis. The beauty of Dr. Tony Nadir, he describes the siddhis, the hormones as Hanuman. Absolutely stunning. Hormones as Hanuman. Hanuman can become small, Hanuman can become big. It's a story. They're not seen. So he correlates the Hanuman as a hormone. And the hormones can become small. Action of the hormones can be big and can be small. Beautiful correlation. Another doctor is Dr. Mehmet Oz, cardiothoracic surgeon, who uses pomegranate juice and yoga therapy before and after cardiothoracic surgeries. Another research says the umbilical cord blood supply can change based on if you are using a resonance technique, breathing technique, umbilical cord blood supply changes. Already proven research. Okay, all of you sit down. We'll go for. Okay, JPMR is not possible. I think I'll share the video of JPMR and I'll pause it for a moment. Let me. 8 minutes we have. So JPMR is a Jacobs. I'll tell you what it is, and then I'll give you the link for that. So why I use JPMR? Why I don't use Yoga Nidra? When I go out of India, I'll become like a Guruji. I'll wear all this. I'll keep some more beard. I'll put tilak and all those. I'll wear Rudraksh mala. I use the inclination to be revered like a sit down, please. But when in India, I use more scientific aspect because we are basically we do not listen to anyone. Basically, we need convincing, absolutely convincing ideas for us to practice. Even after giving convincing ideas, we do not practice. That's the tendency. Another homework for students: you find out laziest countries in the world. You find out what is in India is already improving, but still. But the heritage of India should come to forefront with evidence base. That's a message what I want to share. That is only possible with evolved students and Sharira Madhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. So some sloka says that. So only through understanding the human body, the right dharma is possible. So your greatest advantage for you to work on the mind spirit, because you are already working on the body. You are the greatest. Medical doctors are the greatest, especially the conventional MBBS medical doctors. I say this because there are less, there's one book by name Post MBBS Careers. So in India, there is a huge competition, lab and all those exams you should keep writing and then run. So that part we'll discuss sometime later when we visit in person. That will keep the topic separately. So JPMR is a neuromuscular relaxation technique. I'll just only tell what it is and then we'll conclude. Neuromuscular relaxation technique. There are more than 3,000 plus research articles only on this one. First research on yoga was on Shavasana. Shavasana could reduce the blood pressure by 20 to 30 millimeter of mercury. That was a proven research article on Shavasana. So JPMR, there are more research articles how JPMR helps in neck pain, back pain, knee pain, hypertension, somatization, anxiety issues. So Jacobson's progressive muscular relaxation technique. Jacobson uses the biorhythm of the body of a contraction, being aware of that and tightening the muscles for about 5 seconds, for example, and relaxing the muscles for about another 5 seconds. So being aware of this duality of contraction and relaxation, when your mind is positioned in that particular muscle group for certain time, maybe for 5 seconds, the biorhythm of the body changes. When this particular muscle, the initial part is like this, you can do it. I want you to do it, only small one. Make a fist of your hand, tighten your forearm as tight as you can. Hold it for about 5 seconds. Full tight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Make your hands like this, biceps. Hold your biceps as tight as you can for 5 seconds. Be aware of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. So this relaxation starts progressive. Why it is progressive? One muscle group after other muscle groups. Progressive, muscular. You are using skeletal muscle as a tool for a biorhythm. Relaxation. It will induce the relaxation response. Technique, JPMR. So it goes 13 parts of the body. Forearm muscles, flexor and extensor, your arm, then trapezius, then forehead frontalis, then eyeball muscles, then jaw, then orbicularis oculi, oris, tongue, platysma, chest, holding the breath for 5 seconds and breathing out. Abdomen, tightening your rectus abdominis, holding it for about 5 seconds and releasing. Buttocks, gluteus maximus, group of muscles. Quadriceps, you're holding it tight for about 5 seconds and releasing. Below knee till the tip of the toes, holding it tight for 5 seconds and releasing. 13 parts of the body sequentially contracting for 5 seconds, relaxing for 5 seconds is a sequence of the JPMR. I use this invariably for everyone. It reduces a lot of somatization, stress-induced physical complaints, or other disease. So I minimum tell them for 40 days. So I'll share you the link of JPMR, how to do it. I'm done with the same background. I'll share it with you. With this, I'll give a pause for a moment to conclude that Mudra is a science where the subtlety of the Mudra is less understood in the general population and amongst the general yoga students. We hardly use Dhyana Mudra 1, 2, maybe Bodhisattva Mudra or some other Dhyana Mudra we'll use, So it is less limited part. If we can do some research articles, some small scale research, like one of the BK Iyengar students who was a cardiologist has done ultrasound scanning of body different positions. When you're doing Sarvangasana, what is the jugular pulse, what is happening, and your cardiac output, what is happening. So those kind of things you can plan. So small research articles, maybe one mudra, if it is pertaining to, if this is called as Prana Mudra. In this Prana Mudra, is there any particular part of if you do, for example, PET scan, is there any change in the dopamine dominant areas? Is there any change? For example, another research article, the long-term practitioners of yoga, their amygdala and hippocampal area is large. So their emotional balance will be much better. There are very different mind-blowing research are already there, but we only need to know it. And if doctors can implement, they can implement to the best of their ability. So in that manner, this class is only a stimulation or motivation for you to take up something for your stress response first. And then if it is helping for you to reduce your stress amongst your the MBBS studies, so then we can publish 1 or 2 research articles, and plus now same things can be used and adopted elsewhere. So that is the goal of this particular session. And what I taught was Shankha Mudra with breathing technique, 4 seconds breathing in, 4 seconds holding the breath, 4 seconds exhalation as a tool, as a prescription. So what is the prescription? 4-4-4 plus 4-4-4 breathing technique plus 1 mudra. What is 1 mudra? I can share it. For back pain, different mudra. For diabetes, I use Apana Vayu mudra. For heart disease, I use Hridaya mudra. For anxieties, I use Garuda mudra. So many things. So mudra changes, breathing technique remains same. My claim is the peak flow rate of the body lungs will change, lung function will change. So if you do it for about 3 months, first month is 4-4-4, second month 6-4-6, third month 6-6-6, and then you continue. Lung volume increases, the disease frequency will reduce, oxygen availability will better, disease you can fight much better, coping skills will be better. Second one I told is Shakuntalasana with resonance. Resonance is inducing relaxation. Definitely. Third one I told the JPMR introduction, Jacobson's progressive muscular relaxation technique introduction. This is a kind of package, 1-2 package. 1 breathing technique, 1 headache relieving technique, 1 relaxation technique, can be used anywhere. So these 3, and we conclude the class. And any questions we have, we'll can answer. But this will open our minds to a new dimension and subtlety of yoga. So my only motive is all of us, all the doctors everywhere, whatever is their field, they are true karma yogis. Believe it or not, they sacrifice their sleep, their family time and everything for the sake of patient. So this class is dedicated to all the doctors, all the yoga masters worldwide, all the teachers, all the parents, all the children. So with this, we conclude the class. Thank you. I am open for any 1 or 2 questions.
I request Chair Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy.
Yeah.
Ishwar Basavareddy,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. So I am very fortunate to listen so many things. I had 2-3 important comments. One is there are 3 words in the entire topic. One is scientific, spiritual, and mudra. So these are the 3 dimensions. Dr. Shashikant would like to make justice for these through and make how mudras are presented in a scientific manner and also awakening the spiritual quest within the mind. So first of all, if you see in yoga, mudras, what is the purpose of mudra? In yoga, if you see a very serious student of yoga, so it is called neuromuscular coordination. Simple. So the terminologies, you are all medical students. You use the terminologies in the medical terminologies, but yoga people use their terminologies. Nadi, skanda, and tantra. So there are certain terminology used by the yogis. So only thing is we have to coordination because Shashikant would like to convey you in newer language, and in newer languages mudras are mentioned to bring neuromuscular coordination. One. Then why they are mentioned? So the second one is to harness the mind. By mind, I take two. One is the emotions and thoughts. How to manage and balance the emotions and thoughts by bringing balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic activity. So, as mentioned by Dr. Shashikant, any yoga activity, it may be Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, it may be Surya Namaskar or anything. If you do properly, neither it stimulates nor it reduce any activity. It brings balance between the sympathetic, parasympathetic coordination. So that's the way how mudras are helping. This is the second. Third one is in the how they are helping for the spiritual awakening. So there are two types of systems in yoga, and there are many, but majorly two. One is Vedanta, way of leading a spiritual life, where it is philosophical in nature. The second one is the Tantric, and third one is the Sankhya Yoga. And like this, there are many systems. When you talk about Tantra, he mentioned about only 100 and few odd techniques. But in Swara Yoga and others, there are many Hatha Yoga texts. I am so happy he is talking about the Kashmiri Shaivism and the text from Kashmir Shaivism here referring 112 mudras. But when we are doing the traditional knowledge digital library, we search many of such mudras in the ancient text, but literally one or two sentences, but there is no meaning. But if you really go to the philosophy and understand the technology, and you will understand the entire science behind it. Therefore, the third one is when you go to systematize this spiritual awakening, how it happens with the Ashuddhi Kshaya, cleansing. And somebody has asked some question, what is the best time to practice yoga? Really, if you want to have a lead to the health promotion or spiritual awakening, so then the best, why it is chosen the best timing in the morning. So there are many issues. Once yoga should be practiced with the emptying all our toxins, removing toxins, the bowel movements, the urines, the empty stomach, and also the minimized thoughts. Morning time, we are not overburdened because mind is relaxed. So then yoga is more fruitful. It is evidence. So that's why our yogis are scientific and more than scientific. But only thing we have to understand the technology about that. Therefore, so detoxification is very much compulsory for the performing mudras of Hatha Yoga mudras for spiritual awakening. So that Shashikant has to understand. Detoxification is compulsion, because unless you detoxify at the ghata or the physical level and neuromuscular level, removing we call them as the knots or the blocks. So that's why there are certain bandhas to perform Uddiyana and other bandhas, Jalandhar bandha, Juva bandhas. There are many bandhas lock and channelize the energy, just like we are channelizing the water from the reservoir. So these are all the very simple techniques, so that the entire energy from the Kanda, that is the Mooladhara, or even from the coccygeal region, the entire system of spinal cord and the connection with the brain, and most importantly, the Vegas, what we are talking about. And how your Vegas functions, I don't want to end. The entire mudras are going to have impact on the Vegas now. Vegas is very, very important. That's why you use sometime the breathing techniques, the ratios, 1:2, you and the end of the time, you prolong the exhalation. Not only prolonging, but also there is a ratio of prolonging. How much you want to exhale? 1:2, 1:4, 1:3, 1:8. So to certain level, and these are all the things, and who are practicing it regularly, they evolve accordingly for particular disease condition, particular emotional, psycho-emotional
these things, and these technologies have been adopted. And many people doesn't know this because it needs a lot of personal practice. So explaining in scientific manner is another one because we need the medical knowledge. But mere medical knowledge is not sufficient to understand these technologies, because the medical person, even Shashikant, has to practice it. So then he confirmed, then he has to go to many people, and 10 people also have the same type of experiences and same type of results, then it is confirmed. Again, each individual is unique because they are working on your emotional and psychological level. So there, every individual is not the same. Every individual is unique. Therefore, again, as you in medical system, we recommend different dosages for the different system. The matra of the mudras has to be varied, and accordingly, the results will be coming. So once a yoga teacher or a master, what we call them, or many names are given. So I saw that he should be a sadhaka and who understand this technology. What Shashikant would like to say, there is a philosophy and many people confined to philosophy. But if philosophy converted into a science, science into the technology, technology into the appliances, what we are giving in terms of capsules or the medicines, and yoga practices has to come up to that level so that it will be integrated in the medical system. So this is my understanding. Lastly,
Yes.
how it relates to the spiritual awakening. So simple way, what is spirituality? And there's one of the vague term in the philosophy or in the science, many people misunderstood. For common people, spirituality is believing in God or not believing God, going to the temple, following religious practices. Some people call it, oh, he's very spiritual person. No. Simple is spiritual is always you are having the nitya, which is permanent, which is shashwata, satya, which is truth, ever changing principle. So if your life is leading towards the nitya and satya, so from the anitya to the satya, from finite to the infinite, that journey is a spiritual journey. And mudras are the paths, some of the paths. If you are going to the higher level for finite to infinite, from the so anitya to the nitya and satya to the satya. That's why satoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityormam amrutangamaya. So these are all the call we chant in the schools, colleges, etc. But we never understood the essence of these slokas, and these slokas I converted them into the models. So their models has been tested. Now they have been in the public domain. So people are using them as a medicine or the capsules, or we call them a protocol. So such type of things are very essential. And today's talk is very, very enlightening. In the beginning, I made 5-6 comment because I do know that Shashikant, being a medical person, will touch all these things. He had touched the preventive medicine, he touched the integrative medicine, he touched the last health promotion, everything. And I do hope that my preliminary remarks and the remarks are definitely are in line with his speech, and very good questions and very good listeners you got. So for a teacher, what we want? We want a very good response. Everybody is doing yoga and stretching and all these things. So always I enjoy the workshops, not only talk, and I am practicing, they are doing it, they're experiencing it. What I say, they experience it. So that gives the confidence in yoga. So yoga is a practice. Unless you practice it, we cannot experience what is true. With these few words, once again, I thank the Professor Sumangla, Madam, and Dr. Jyoti, and all other faculty members. It's such a wonderful students who are sitting. Thank you one and all. I do hope that we'll again associate such a wonderful talk. Thank you. Jai.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello, Dr. Jyoti.
Now I request
Hello,
Dr. Ishwar
Dr.
Basaveddi,
Jyoti.
sir, to kindly present e-certificate to Dr. Shashikant Kumbar, sir.
Thank you.
Upload.
Hello, Dr. Jyoti.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just before you ending, just can I say a few words? I'm
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Kushal Das.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you, Dr. Ishwar Basaveddi, sir. thank you, Honorable Director, and thank you to the speaker, distinguished speaker and extraordinary speaker, as must I say, Dr. Shashikant. It was amazing to listen the yoga, the Indian ancient wisdom with the mouth and the knowledge, brain synchronization from a medical person. And I really enjoyed Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy's chairman these comments. Specifically, here the two persons who are practicing yoga, knowledge in yoga is like ocean, one from the medicine, other from the physics. The very interesting to strong medicine and strong physics background, how it evolved and really incorporate the ancient wisdom in the true spirit of Indian history and culture, both of them have shown. So it is really honor to be here, and I really enjoyed today to be a part of it, to join with the great speaker and specifically our proud alumni of BLD University and Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, who is my very good friend since long time. Thank you very much, Dr. Jyoti.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, sir, to kindly present certificate to Dr. Shashikant Kumbar, sir.
Yes, it's my privilege, and just I'm transforming the seat certificate to Dr. Shashikant.
Thank you, sir. It's a great honor to receive from you.
Thank you very much. Namaste. Wish you all the best. Hope so we'll again meet in some other platforms. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Now I request Professor Kusal K. Das, Distinguished Chair, Professor BLD, deemed to be University, to kindly present certificate to Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, sir, Director, Moraji Desai National Institute of Yoga, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. It is really my honor and proud privilege to confer this certificate to one of the greatest scientists, yoga scientist, physicist, and one of the great scholar, and who prevail the Indian culture is throughout the globe, Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy. Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, I am really feeling proud to be associated with you, and today in this occasion to confer the certificate of honor to your kind self. Kindly accept our honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It is my privilege that I am fortunate to receive from your hand. Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now it is the time to thank everyone. I sincerely thank Dr. Ishwar Basavareddy, sir, for accepting our invitation and chairing today's session. I thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Shashikant Kumbar, sir, for accepting our invitation and giving a wonderful lecture and experiencing us about different mudras. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. It's a great honor.
BLD, DU family, faculty, students, I thank everyone for supporting us. And I thank IT department for supporting us. Thank you so much. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Shall I take a leave? Jyoti?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for bearing me because now I am in the airport.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.